All right, let's talk about showings and some of the options you first-time sellers and sellers have with showings. You've got some, and depending on your situation and circumstances, one's going to probably be better than others. But right off the bat, there's the blue lockbox that you probably saw when you were buying and looking for a home that realtors who have kept up their credentials and everything on a daily basis have access to. It timestamps the people, it timestamps the realtor, the broker, everything about that realtor. You know, we are fingerprinted, by the way. A number of years ago, we all had to get fingerprinted. And so the lockbox will pop and give the exact time someone enters the house. It'll tell the listing agent how long someone stayed in the house, and it allows the listing agent to follow up with that realtor to find out more about what the buyer thought, how the showing went, maybe even later if the buyer is still active or if the buyer has purchased. Anything that we can find out that'll help our client further understand what it takes to sell their house. So the lockbox is very helpful. That is the ideal way to do it. This is where the owner of the house has the lockbox either attached outside or can place it outside. If this lockbox that I'm going to show on screen ever freezes up, it's almost useless. It takes more money to get into the lockbox than I just replace it with another one. Now, I'm not saying they're cheap. I think they're close to $150 somewhere in there, maybe more. And this lockbox is the ideal way. Another way is an appointment only. And appointment onlys can work with pets, if you have children at the house, if there's something delicate, if you're worried about something, maybe you've got some fine art, or another reason you might do appointment only is if you have specific time frames. You work from home and you only want your home showed throughout the week at certain spots so you don't have interruptions in your workday. That can help. By the way, you could also schedule out those times on a lockbox. But I'm processing some of these ideas for you to be considering and answering how showings go down. Another one would be, of course, the open houses. I would warn my sellers that an open house is great, but if you're living in the house, I'm going to warn my sellers that I'm not as comfortable. I'd rather have open houses in vacated, non-occupied houses, because at an open house, I don't know who's coming through. I don't have the ability to have everyone register through a lockbox. And if I have a sign-in sheet, I don't know if people are giving adequate, accurate information. I don't know if they're casing the house. It sounds extreme, but it's possible. I can give you stories. There's stories online that are not good stories at all. There's some bad things that can happen at open houses. And if a house is vacated, then less is going to be stolen. There's less interest for a criminal to pose a threat. Open houses are good, but I would encourage those open houses to happen about 10 days or at least 2 weekends after the house is live. Because again, going back to the metrics, I want to be able to track down a buyer's realtor and find out how interested, how active they are, what they're looking for, and give my clients, my sellers, feedback from that realtor that is working with a buyer that has popped that blue lockbox and allows me to follow up with them. Showings are also random in length. Somebody could be in and out in 10 or 12 minutes. That's not a good showing. I'd like to see at least 30 minutes plus. When I see showings that are over 60 minutes, that's a very good sign. There's a little tip or trick that I learned a number of years ago, where if you're living in a house and a showing is happening, go ahead, open up all the windows, let that natural light in, turn on all the lights. Make sure, of course, the house is clean and presentable. You have staged it, which I covered in a previous segment of this, and crack the closets. All the closets, turn on those closet lights and crack the door just enough to where someone can see, maybe an inch, maybe a little bit over an inch, where someone can see into the closet when they're in that room. And when you're back from your temporary outing while the showing is going on and you're going through your house, you can see how thorough for yourself in real time by how many doors and closets were closed and lights turned off. People are pretty good about turning lights off when they leave the house. And that's a quick way to know it. Of course, the lockbox, I can tell you when we connect later. And I also cover in a previous segment that the number of showings and the number of days go into the considerations of a price adjustment. So hope this helps on showings. We'll talk.